I was pretty much set up and ready to go, except
Yeah.
for I just was still talking over there. Oh,
It's Friday. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's right. It is Friday. All right, I can get rid of this message here that says, "Welcome in, have a seat, get high," and put up that one for now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. High. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. It's been a good day. I got a bunch of stories that I found overnight. I mean, this morning, but
Cool.
only if we need them. I don't want them if we don't need them.
Well,
If
you
we
know,
have
it's always good
great
to
conversation going, then I'm not going to use
break
them.
it up. You know, good morning, Facebook user.
Good morning, Mrs. Hippie. I think it says I
Oh.
deleted old episodes, so you should be clean because we only have a certain amount of hours down here, and
Dirty
then
shoe.
whoa.
Yeah, it only stores like 50 hours or something.
Right, unless I want to decide to upgrade for another
Yeah,
$6
and you
a
don't
month
need
or
to hold
something.
on to them. They stay on Facebook.
Right. So I mean, I do some clips, some little videos. We send it over to Spotify, and then we pretty much erase them, because they're already on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and we've taken little clips, funny stuff that happens throughout them. And
yeah, I'm curious to figure out how to edit some of this video, right? So I can put together like little shorts of the stuff that is educational. Like not the bullshit that we're talking about, but when we do have that moment of discussing something cannabis related, educational, being able to cut those little clips down so we can post little clips like that. Take somebody a minute, 2-3 minutes to listen to, but it's giving good stuff. So
it's knit too hard.
Oh, that was you. Thank you. I saw that.
It's knit too hard.
What's that?
Mrs. Hippie said it's knit too hard.
What's too hard?
It's not too hard doing the clips.
No, I can probably figure out how to do it in Canva.
That's how she does it, I think.
Yeah, that's her
Facebook user out there right now.
Oh, okay.
So, what'd you do? You worked all night. You shaved. Yeah. You look nice and clean shaven.
No shaving today.
No.
Friday. We scruffy all weekend.
You look scruffy. You look clean shaven.
Yeah, I got quite a bit done because I wanted to get my next 40 images up on Etsy.
I see we have a background today. Let me see the plant.
Which way do I gotta go? This way.
Big head out the way. Yeah, come to me.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's like Starry Night with weed in it.
Well, the whole next series, the whole next 40 pictures are like this type of art, right?
Very cool.
Artistic style plants, some nice vivid colors.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Mrs. Hippie, on sale now. You can get them at his Etsy store. Get me a whole bunch. I want to put them up all around here, different sizes, so I can fill the wall with like a.
They're all one size. They're all really one size right now. If you print them in their perfect size, they're 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet square.
I want a 4 foot by 4 foot. I want a 2 foot by 2 foot. I want them to be like all different shapes to make like a puzzle on the wall behind me.
Right. I do have 4:5 ratio also there. So yeah, you do have a different ratio, so you can mix them together. But
yeah, because I thought you said I could print them to any size, and they will look clear up until what size? 2 by 2? Is that what it was?
Yeah, 2 feet by 2 feet, because I've optimized the image size. I've optimized the image size so that you print it 2 feet by 2 feet. You got a perfect resolution. If you go bigger, it could blur a little bit, but you can go 24 by 24. You could go 20 by 20. You could go 16 by 16, 12 by 12. And anything in the 1-to-1 ratio below 24 inches by 24 inches will be absolutely perfect. Yeah.
So that's cool.
So
And they're only $2 or something like that in the United States
they're,
now.
yeah,
And of course, it costs whatever to blow them up and turn them into actual pictures. But
yeah, but I think you can probably print them out like at Walgreens or Walmart or someplace like that for probably $12 or $15.
I'm thinking
the frame
canvas.
Costs the same, you know what I mean?
You see the one with the handsome fella next to me back there?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I got that from a friend, a beautiful woman named Curly Kell. She's going to be coming to see me tomorrow. I'm very nervous. Oh, my goodness.
Right. And that's printed on canvas?
That's on like a canvas. Yeah. And I would love to put that into it. I mean, her frame was beautiful. It's like magnetic and it hangs and it's awesome. But at the same time, I would love to put it in like a solid frame, nice and taut, you know, nice and taut, and, you know, nice and beautiful. And then put that up with a whole bunch of weed ones around it and make that wall back there just a big photo of all different plants, kind of like.
Oh, I tell you, you could do some wild stuff, because these 40, I just finished getting them ready, all the mock-ups, like the image behind me. So where it shows it in different rooms and various sizes and stuff, you know. But I'll start listing them on Etsy today. I don't know, like I got to upload like 400 individual images to complete the process. So I don't know it'll be done today, but it'll definitely be started.
Is there any free mistakes that you have over there that you'd be like, oh, this is a mistake?
I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Because I had an idea as I was not hearing what you were talking about backstage. So, good morning, Tessa. Good morning, Fable. Kelly, how are you?
You guys, you could hear us.
I want to talk to Lori for a second, because Lori was
backstage.
Place an order on Etsy. So she purchased a piece of art from Dr. High AI Hayes, which is very, very cool, and I appreciate that. But she says, how do I get the pick? So I'm going to tell you how I think you get the pick, but I haven't done this, so I don't know. But I think you have to go into your profile. You'll have messages in your profile on Etsy. So you'll go on your messages. From there, you'll have the link to your purchase. So you click on that, and what you're going to get is you're going to get 2 different PDF files. One is just going to be a thank you note. It talks a little bit about Dr. High, what I do on the medical education side, and that. The other one is going to be the instructions on how to go through the process. At the bottom of the instructions, there is a thing that says click to download. And when you click on that, what it'll do is it'll take you to Google Drive, where the image is there, and you can simply download it from Google Drive. It's a big file, so that's why it doesn't come directly from Etsy, because they don't allow you to store files that big. It can only be so small, and in order to get that good resolution, it has to be a big file, you know. So
is the one behind you a 2x2, or is that technically like a bigger one and you just made that one bigger?
No, that's just I don't know what the actual dimensions are on that.
It looks bigger. That's like
that might be a little bit. That might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that looks like a 4x4 or 3x3.
No, it wouldn't be that big. It's sitting above a bed, right? So hold on, let's pop out of the way. So that takes up about half of the size of a bed. So it could be like 3 feet wide, but I can do that. There's no problem, because I have the software. So I can actually make them any size.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just would like one big, like if I find one that I really love, I want to make that the centerpiece and maybe 4x4 it, and then put a bunch of little ones, all different shapes and sizes around it. You know, they can all be 2 feet and under.
Yeah, I can manipulate that file.
I think I want one that would be long and skinny, like like a panoramic view, something that, a couple of the hot chicks, a couple of the skulls, and as stuff comes, I will add to the collection behind me on that wall. I think that would look great back there.
Probably make a pretty cool space. Some of it, if you pick your pieces just right, you know what I mean? It'll probably look really neat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll sit there and I'll look and I'll be like, you know what? But even if it isn't, like you find one and then all of a sudden you find another one, you're like, 6 months down the road, you make this other incredible one. I
Yeah.
could say, hey, Dr. High, can you make it a long, skinny one, panoramic, kind of,
Well,
and
I can
you
only
can
enlarge it
sculpt it
in
a
the
little.
aspect ratio that it's created in, or the image won't be the same, right? If I have to crop it down to make a certain shape, then some of the image gets lost, right, in the cut. So the images can only be upscaled in the aspect ratio they were created in. That's why everything right now is 1:1. I do have some other aspect ratios that I've created and that allow to size in different sizes. I'm going to start working on 2:3 aspect ratio, which is more of a poster shape.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but
Dr. High,
it takes a
I don't
long
know
time.
if you know or not, but I know this guy named Dr. High that does this stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm not rushing him or anything. But
No, 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 no.
if he comes across something in that panoramic, longer, I'm thinking 12, 18 inches long by 2 or 3 inches tall, something like that. So
What, skinny like that? Like a banner?
I guess kind of like a banner, but for on the wall. So it would be like a license plate. See that license plate there? Maybe a
Right.
little bit longer, but that's something that size, and then
Oh,
a
these
square,
things can be done. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then a square one, and then a
Yeah, because
rectangular one, and a circle one, and
it just comes down to, well, I can't do circular. Well,
you can
yeah,
do anything.
I probably can do circular.
Yeah,
Actually,
you can do anything. And I'm not rushing you. And this is, we got the rest of our lives together here, buddy.
yeah, it'll be cool stuff to do. So
Yeah, we'll
that's for
talk
sure.
about it. Let's
But
get on to some good stuff now. Let's
yeah,
go. I mean,
I
not that
just
your
want
art isn't good.
I want it costs $1.74. See, so all the Dr. High art right now on sale is $1.74.
$1.74 for $5. You're getting 3 pieces roughly. Oh my goodness! And then you can do when you want. You can blow them up, make them into beautiful pieces, and hang them around your house, your office, your studio, your bed and breakfast. Oh, how about that? No, don't tell anybody. This is Hippie. That's another one. You know what I'm talking about.
So I just want to
Hippie. That's another one. We get those pictures and we blow them up and we put them around the Airbnb we're buying.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? 'Cause we're making a hippie hideaway Airbnb where it's going to have bongs and everything everywhere. And you just come and you stay and it costs you like $4,000 for the weekend. But, well, that's probably a little inflated, but but the whole yard, I have a private cul-de-sac where nobody can come, like nobody comes in here. It's like,
this has to be a great Airbnb.
there's no houses behind me, no houses around me. It's all woods. So,
like
it's
a little fire pit area.
we got a fire pit area,
Nice.
and it's going to turn out to be a great Airbnb, and we're going to paint it tie-dye, the whole house, and we're going to
That'll be fun.
trip it out. And when you pull up, you're just going to walk out and you're going to be like, what the fuck? And it's going to be like, if you know Muck Sticky, what I would imagine he lives in. He probably doesn't. He probably lives in a normal house, but I'm like, I'm like, that's what I'm seeing when we walk into it. And then it's, come on, get high, motherfuckers. Let's go.
I was thinking
That's funny.
but
Mississippi was thinking more Grateful Dead. I don't know. I'm thinking a little of both. Like bedrooms are going to be done up certain ways, and other rooms are going to be. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it'll be themed in the cannabis fashion.
Yep.
Hippie,
Right here in the beautiful Pocono Mountains, right by Mount Airy Casino, right by Kalahari, right by all the resorts.
Yeah.
Come on, start booking your tickets now. Oh, sorry, we're not even out of here yet. That's when we become rich and famous, and we're moving out, and we're famous. Then we're out.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
So, so Robert says, I'm trying to get some dab or vape.
He says that he can get a rig, I think.
Okay.
A dab rig. And he could get the same like he bought that bong. I don't know. Maybe I'm stoned. I don't know. I can't figure him out.
Well, technically, you could use the bong. It's just bigger. So I would suggest not to spend a lot of money on the dab rig. They make some pretty good silicone ones like one of my absolute favorites is silicone. And I don't know if I can grab. Maybe I'll
Our
grab
friend Pothead has one that's like a silicone, and you kind of like squeeze this. It's got like a hose on it, and I guess it's got a nail on the end. You heat the nail, and then I really can't figure it out. I've never figured out how she does it. It's kind
Well, when
of
you run a commercial, I'll pull one out.
oh, you can pull it out anytime you want, big fella.
There we go.
Oh, you're gross.
But yeah, I can help you figure out what you need. I don't know where you would get it in the UK. You might be able to get it from Grass City, which is really the world's biggest online head shop. So might be a good place to look and see if they ship to the UK, because you'll probably get good prices. And if they go to the UK, then you can be pretty sure the quality is there. You want to get something that's between about 4 millimeters thick. So you want 4 millimeter glass minimum.
Right. You explain that to him. I'm going to run the commercial so we can get our 420 song. And
we'll talk about it after the commercial. You can get to the commercial and we'll get back to this.
Okay.
Commercials are commercials for a reason.
Yes, sir. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Hippie and Dr. High on WTHC Radio.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Nicholas, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
It's tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org.
8 o'clock in the morning,
A public
9,
service announcement
10.
brought
You'll
to
be
you
there
by
just
AARP
before
and
10.
the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick, and proud aunt.
I just remembered I got a
Watching
show
my
I got to
play
do
and
tomorrow
learn is
all day.
amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree.
I
One
won't
in
be able to
6
go to
kids
the
in
festival.
US
I'm sorry.
Are hungry. 1 in 6.
You'll have to go on your
that
own.
little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry.
I'll have Mrs.
School
Hippie
lunch will
meet
be
you
her
out
only
there.
meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country.
It's
But it's
got- you got to
something
hold
that
it in front of
Feeding
you.
America is
There you go.
working to change.
Gotta go way close.
American network of
And,
food banks
well,
rescues billions
that's
of
even-
pounds
we
of
can see
good
it right
food
there
that
like
would have
that,
gone
yeah.
to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about
Yeah, I
using
have very
imagination,
similar,
learning,
except for
and
you
having
told me I
fun.
need to get rid of that
These children
damn
shouldn't have to
top
miss
of
out
it.
on simply being free.
Yeah, you need to change your nails. I'm not going to pull out a nail. They're bubble wrapped and put away.
Childhood hunger in your community.
No,
Visit
I'm not going to pull out a nail, but
Brought to you
Oh,
by
was yours
Feeding
glass?
America and the Ad Council.
well, the outside silicone, but the downstem's glass, and,
Certified medical grade water eye measures
and
that
my-
work 7 for
my
water
nail is glass.
alkaline. There's
Quartz.
a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your
So
faucet
our
or
friend
install under your
Sean,
sink.
I don't know if he's here.
Even
Slim,
get a
you out
mineral
there?
spa unit for your
Slim was
shower.
telling me the
Go
other
to
day he
yourwater.org.
uses
Get a free
charcoal
ebook. Plus, pay
and
for any machine in full and get an
well, I
extra
don't even know.
filter
I
free.
don't even know how to explain
Change your
this.
water and change
It's like
your
a
life.
hash oil type thing
Yourwater.org.
that he puts on top of
That
a
your heart
glowing hot
puppetry.
charcoal, and then he
That
puts
your
a
heart
soda
puppetry.
bottle over it.
That's your heart
And the
puppetry.
smoke goes up into
If
the
you
soda
need some
bottle,
kick-ass
then he
puppets,
inhales it.
contact Soy.
Yeah.
And he gets really, really high. Now,
Yeah.
I don't got any issues with that. I've seen stuff like that before. I was just making a statement, really, is that he was told to use glass, and he used his ashtray,
And it exploded.
unfortunately, yes, his glass ashtray exploded,
It exploded,
and
yeah.
he was very pissed because it was a very sentimental, cool ashtray that he loved. Yeah, and now
I could have
he's
told you
using
that would happen. I know what that's all about.
WTHD, we are back. It is 4:20. I don't know why I'm talking. I'm supposed to be hitting the Muck Sticky song. Here we go.
Well, I'm I'm a pot smoking hippie. My name's Muck Sticky. Some call me Mervis Thrifty. Come and get high with me. Here, kitty, kitty. I'm feeling kind of frisky. Big fat bag of weed, and you can fist me. Kiss me on the pecker. Twist a hootie mac. You can borrow my lighter, but bring it right back. This party is jumping. We're tub thumping. Call me Chumbawamba. Get knocked down, but I get up again. Here, light this up again. And maybe then you and me, we can get so high.
Happy 420 to the Netherlands.
We're gonna get so high because we're pot smoking. We're gonna get so high because we're pot smoking.
Yeah, no, September. It's gonna be it's gonna be horrible to get me to go to Ohio.
I said we're pot smoking. Oh hell, you some bitches want to smell some really good shit? Here you go.
No, we'll just have to camp in
I
Canada.
love smoking marijuana. Fantastic, so
I can't get caught over there.
Gonna convince
You gotta
me
come on this side. All you law-abiding citizens gotta come to Canada.
Since you're so mad, man, and I'm cool, calm, collected, well respected, motivated, driven, wide awake and living, making a living with my God-given talent. Sally for tally-ho, onward we go. If you roll with Sticky, you're gonna get so high because we're pot smoking. I said we're getting high.
I'm gonna get high.
Because we're
He said we're gonna hang out VIP at this concert in September in the tent. I'm gonna be hanging with Muck myself.
Is that going to be in your area?
I'm going to Ohio. That's why I'm saying we got to kidnap your ass.
Oh, don't get me on that side of that border.
Muck is doing his first concert back since before COVID. He was out yesterday. It was awesome. We were hanging out, and he built a room in his Discord for WTAC Radio. So now we have our own radio room on his Discord. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, and he just started his Discord. So every day it's 20, 30 new people. 10, 5, 4. Every day there's people joining, and it's just going to keep getting bigger. And we have our own radio room in there. That's amazing. I'm so thankful and grateful to him. We tell him that we're having a sit-in on his front lawn in our radio room. And he came in yesterday and he's like, I'm outside doing a video right now. He goes, but I wanted to come in and do some dabs with you, motherfucker. Well, he might not have said motherfuckers, but then he came in, he hung out with us for a little while, did some dabs, and then he went back out to do his video. We didn't get to see him again, but he came in later and moved. But it's awesome having him. And he's like, yeah, if I'm in here and you're on, let's go, we'll talk, And so it's like having an occasional co-host when he's around,
That's fun.
Not a bad person to have coming on talking, hanging with you.
No, why? Why not?
And he said he agreed to come on with us one day and talk with us one morning. So that's coming up soon too.
That'd be interesting.
WTHC. Yeah, he's awesome. I love him. He's a great guy. Anyway, WTHC, we're back. Thank you guys out there on Live 365 and tune in. And, of course, everybody over here on Facebook and YouTube. You guys are amazing. We're here with the infamous Dr. High. We're hanging out. We're talking weed. What were we going to talk about?
We were talking about dabs, actually, for Robert, because he's thinking about
Dabs,
different rigs. And I just wanted to show him you just need a couple of simple things. You don't need to spend a lot of money, because you'll have dab rigs out there that can cost you hundreds of dollars. You'll have some that'll cost you $100 or $80, but there's really no need to spend that, because you can pick up a simple little silicone one that'll work absolutely perfectly for $30 maybe. Something of that nature, really cheap. Has a glass down stem, pops right in there. So you get yourself one of those. And this is where I suggest you do spend a couple of bucks, is on the torch. You got the Blazer Big Shot, eh?
I don't know. I got whatever fucking sticker they felt like putting on it.
I don't know that brand, but it could be a Blazer Big Shot with somebody else's label. But I sold a lot of torches, a lot. and
Evertech, it says. Evertech.
Evertech. Okay. The best one I ever found
Yeah.
was called the Blazer Big Shot, and it's a $60 torch, but it works. It works no matter what angle you put it on. It continues to work properly. I've had torches catch on fire in my hand.
Say it again. What's the name of it? Blazer.
Blazer Big Shot.
Shout out to Blazer Big Shot. Big Shot.
Big Shot is Blazer makes multiple
Shot.
torches, but the Big Shot is the one you want.
All
So
right.
the company
But
name is Blazer.
Mine
and the
is a
model-
POS. I was going to say, technically, this is like my 5th one from the same dump that I bought it from. And this is the 5th one. And because, like everywhere else, they just sell worse ones than this one. This is the best one I could find in the local area.
Yeah.
I mean, without
Look
spending
online.
hundreds of
Yeah,
dollars.
this one was $60 Canadian.
Yeah, this was like 45.
Yeah,
And
so-
American, and it was, and it's a pain in the ass. I mean, the clicker
Yeah.
broke already. You know, now I got to light a lighter in front of it to get it going.
I have used this
Horrible.
thing for a long time, and you can see the spark is still active.
Yeah, no,
and
no,
this
not shit,
this
though.
has I couldn't even tell you how many hours on it. I couldn't even guess.
Mine has a ton of hours on it as well, and
Yeah.
I abuse them because I'm not one to turn it off. So I'm a dabber. I'm a nectar collector. You know that. I don't. I haven't experienced
let it run and you
proper
just
dab
figure-
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I learn to dab appropriately, then I will take that challenge on. But until then, I'm pretty good with my nectar collector, you know. So I run that torch, and then I'll take my hit, hold it, the torch is still blowing, and then I'll put it under again, and I'll take my hit. Torch is still going. I'm blowing through butane like it's going out of style. Yeah, I'm horrible with it.
If you can buy the best butane, and people don't get it, right? Especially people who start to extract for the first time, they think there are a lot of different butanes on the market, right? You'll have Whippet butane, which will come in 5X, 6X, 7X, 9X. You have Puretane, and you spend money on it, right? There's an 11X.
11X.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! I don't even know what that
can of
fucking
butane-
means.
That can of butane was probably pretty expensive, like $7, $8, $9 would be my guess on the
It was
11.
very cheap compared to the place where I used to get smaller cans for
Right.
way more money.
The reason that they are refined 8X, 9X, 10X, whatever it is because the source of the butane originally is a dirty source. So it has to be refined to get a clean butane out of it.
That's like
Now,
bad
if
fart.
you go, one of the cheapest butanes on the market is Colibri. It's a brand that's been sold forever for cigarette lighters. You'll find it in tobacco shops. But you should find it in a good head shop too. Colibri is a cheap butane, but it's one of the cleanest because it's North Sea butane, and that's an extremely clean source. You don't need to refine it to have top quality. And then you have the other one, which is Puretane, there's two types of butane. There's an N-butane and an isobutane. They just have different polarities. And so Puretane is an N-butane, which is a very clean butane. It's almost medical grade, but it's very expensive once again. So when you're extracting with butane, you don't need to spend that extra big money. You can use something as simple as
Now,
cold.
when
get
you're
quality.
extracting with butane,
Yeah.
I would assume you have a way bigger bottle than what I have here, depending on, I guess, how much. Well,
No.
like if a person that was doing it themselves at home, how much butane do you need? I mean, how many cans am I going to go through to do what I need to do if I were to do it at home? I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, but
1 can per ounce.
oh, really? One
Yeah.
big can like my motherfucking can, or
Yeah.
one little can like the little one that you get
No,
to
can
flavor
like you have there.
Yeah.
Yeah, one can per ounce.
ounce.
Yeah. So you get yourself your first extractor, a honeybee extractor, a small glass extractor. You want one that holds about an ounce of cannabis. And then you know that requires 1 can for the extraction.
Huh.
Yeah.
And this is actually called honeybee butane.
Yeah. Yeah, they also make an extractor.
Coincidence?
Yep. No, probably not.
No, okay.
Probably not. But that's really not something I want to teach. Like as much as I would like to.
No, because then there's the
But the
dangers
problem
of shit
is-
happening at home,
is-
man. I told you
Yeah,
that story about
Yeah, it's a super dangerous thing to do unless you're really, really, really careful. So it's not the kind of thing that I want to instruct. I'll talk about it all day, but I would never want to give like step by steps, right, on something like that. Just because I would never want to see somebody get hurt because of something.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, a friend of ours. I'm a puppet. I don't know if anybody noticed. I am a puppet. I have another puppet friend. To be renamed nameless because I can't remember his name right now. But as a human, he worked at a dispensary, and he was also a volunteer firefighter. Oh, I think it was Remy, the chef. Anyway, he was at work one day, and they were doing extraction in the back room. And all of a sudden, he heard boom. And as the firefighter he went running into the room where everybody else was running out.
Okay.
And a fellow employee who worked there, now he worked out in the front selling, he wasn't, doing the extraction stuff. He was more of a bud tender. And he was
Right.
very new at the job.
Okay.
He ran into the back and his man was on fire. And he grabbed a blanket or whatever he found and threw on top of him, got the fire out, carried him outside of the building. The building was on fire. He ended up saving his life. I mean, the poor guy didn't do well.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of quality of life
because
he has now, but he was melted.
explosive.
Remy said he was pretty melted. It wasn't a pretty sight when he carried him out of the house, out of the building that was on fire. He saved his life. I mean, because he could have died back there. Everybody else kind of just left him and ran because the explosion happened.
Let's save somebody else if you don't save yourself first, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they saved
I'll go
themselves,
back.
but Remy went in the room while everybody else was running out of the room because I guess he's a firefighter and he had that training and he was fucking scared.
Well, once the explosion has occurred, then it's just a fire you have to worry about.
Well,
You know what I mean? So you run from the explosion, but then you could go back in, I guess, once you can determine where the fire is and what's happening, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was crazy. Then he came on. He got home from they sent him home from work that day. They were like, I guess we're closed for the rest of the day since the building's on fire. And he came home and he came into our room on TikTok and we were just sitting around bullshitting and hanging out. And then all of a sudden he comes in and he's like, guys, I got to tell you something. And then he starts telling us this whole story and we're like, holy shit. And he was like, yeah, it was really bad. He's like, he's going to live, I think, I mean, we really don't know yet, but as far as I know, he lived, but he was not a pretty fella and God bless him. I pray for him every day, but he, and Remy, he's a hero. And I was like, man, you saved that guy's life. He was like, yeah.
No, it doesn't take a concentration of 4% butane in the air is combustible. It doesn't take a lot, right? Once you reach 4%, like we spent some pretty good money. I don't remember what each detector was, but I think it was like $400 for this. It looked like a little walkie-talkie, but it was a gas sniffer. So we had them set up in 2 different places. We had one that we set directly onto the extraction equipment because the butane fed in from the top and then ran down the column and then into the collection pot in the bottom. So if we were going to lose or be losing butane, it's heavier than air, so it's going to drop, right? So we've had one right on the machine to try and pick up any detectable loss of butane because we could see exactly what was happening. And then we also had a second one that was over by the tank because we used the butane, but we recaptured it again. We had gas pumps that would take that butane back. Once it was liquid, we'd evaporate it back off into a vapor and recollect it as a gas, so we could reuse it over and over and over and turn it into a liquid, you know? So
Yeah, I don't think that's anything I would ever want to get into. I'll let you do it.
it was a big project, but I'll tell you what, like, I don't know, I loved it.
I'll let you do it, and I'll just get it from you.
I loved it. So, Mr. Slow, you're still with us, right?
Yeah, he's there. He's
I
so
have,
off today. Today's Friday. He gets a half a day, so he's home already. He had his McDonald's. He's happy. He's
Hey.
smoking.
there he is, Mr. Slow's on my YouTube channel. I appreciate that. Smash that like button and subscribe.
Smash
Isn't
our
that-
like
isn't
button
that
over
the way
here,
it goes?
too.
Smash
Yes.
that like button and subscribe.
Yes, smash. I don't know what we're supposed to do. I know we're at 82. Woohoo! We're almost to 1 million.
I've
We
done
need,
some
like,
research
a lot.
while we were here talking, Mr. Slow, and you can get yourself a pretty good little dab rig right in the UK from exactly where I thought it would
Morning,
work,
Jeffrey.
from Grass City, for 39 pounds. 39 pound 99 pence, and it's everything you need. So you just need that, and it's, I know the brand, Ice. They've been making products for quite some time, but this is exactly what you can use. It's perfect for you. It's not too expensive, so you can work with it. And then let's have a look. I'll take a look as we go on for a torch for you. I'll just screenshot
And
this.
great news from Christopher over there. It says, "Good morning, everyone. A great success transplanting my second plant. It was a great evening."
Nice. Good for you, Chris. We're glad to see that happening for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, I
Yep.
haven't even looked at mine. I got to go out there and look.
Yeah, that should go pretty quick. So let's see, torch. So what are they going to show me for torches?
Set up commercials while I'm waiting.
Oof. They're not showing me torches.
They're illegal in the UK.
The torch?
No, I don't know. I'm just nose over there. Weirdos.
Yeah. So that's all you got to do, Mr. Slow, is type into your internet browser Grass City, GRASSCITY, all one word. Then in the search, you want to put in EYCE, ICE. And let me just get the model again because I screenshotted it. So you want that EYCE ICE silicone sidecar dab rig. Silicone sidecar dab rig, and it should be 40 pounds basically, $39.99.
40 pounds for you.
And that is an excellent place to start. From there, to learn how to use it properly, I would suggest YouTube.
I would suggest talking to Dr. High.
Well, you know, like I can talk about the process and I can teach you with words, but
Right.
words get forgotten. If you throw on the YouTube video and you have all your stuff right there in front of you, you can just play along. You know what I
Play
mean?
along. Come on, everybody, play along.
Yeah, you can just play along, and that's the best way to learn, right? Doing is the best way to learn. So
I guess, but technically we're allowed to do that stuff here on this. So go ahead, do a nice big fat dab and teach everybody how to do it so then they can go back and watch it again. He's thinking about it. He's like,
I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about it for now because I'd have to go hunt down my nails. But
good morning, Maria. How are you?
Yeah.
Well, we can
Morning,
do that.
Maria.
That's like technically they allow us to
Hey,
do
Jeff.
that. That's why I love Facebook. If they would just leave me to fuck alone with my music, I'd be like, yay, this is the greatest place on earth. But they want to be jerks.
Yeah, they put a little thing on my thing that says that some of the music was
Yeah.
edited because Meta doesn't have the rights to that music in some countries or whatever.
Yeah. I get the same thing all the time. I got to fight them, tell them that I'm on radio, and then I get it back. And it takes a couple days. It kind of pisses me off, but whatever.
Oh, did you figure out how to download that image? I want to know if she's had any success.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, I got stories. You want to talk about one of my stories?
Let's go with a story.
All right, I got a story. Let me see. Yeah, let me see which one makes. All right, here. This is a cute one. We'll read it, and we'll see what I didn't read them. Like I said, I always kind of just grab them and see what they're about. This one says a large amount of weed washed ashore near a popular Florida surf spot. It's not seaweed, it's straight up weed. Over the weekend, a large amount of marijuana washed ashore at Florida's Neptune Beach, just north of Jacksonville Beach, one of the most popular surf spots in the area. Local police made a report about the incident, advising the public not to treasure hunt. A post from the Neptune Beach Department on Facebook read, earlier this morning, your police responded to a large amount of marijuana which washed ashore along the shoreline near Florida Boulevard. It appears a large quantity likely broke open at sea and separated before coming ashore. Officers are on scene working with the public to clean the marijuana off the beach. Before anyone starts thinking about coming out and turning this discovery into your own treasure hunt, we would advise against it. After floating in the ocean for some time, the marijuana has quickly begun to degrade and rot. Please avoid the area until complete cleanup is complete. That's it.
That's funny. That's a funny story.
There's big piles of weed. You can see.
I find it weird. I'm just seeing that, Fableland. We'll go to the story for a second here. We got professional pot smoker. I don't think that we've had him here visit us before. So thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. You're in Vegas from Australia. Fancy talking international issues for stoners. Absolutely. I'm into that for sure. Oh yeah, I'd be rotten by then.
There it is. There's the weed.
We actually have a listener or two from Australia who we talked to a little bit, and I personally am from Canada, and the hippies in the U.S. So we're already basically talking international issues for stoners here. So absolutely, if there's something you'd like to discuss, I'm right into it.
Absolutely.
I'm down 100%.
Thank you for joining us, professional pot smoker. So in Vegas from Australia, fancy
we can
talk.
send you an invite, bring you right up here on the screen, and we can have a great conversation if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do that.
So your story. I find it kind of strange. Like, why would all that pot wash up on the beach? That would indicate that somebody's probably moving a large amount of it from one place to another by boat.
Really?
But the thing is I'm good, thanks, Nick. Yourself. The funny thing is that in Florida, that's where a lot of drugs run in from Mexico and South America and stuff like that. I wouldn't think that there was enough money in cannabis or enough interest in the quality of cannabis that's coming from these areas of the world that would bring enough value to be smuggling it by ship or by boat and running that risk. So that's what I think from that story. That's what that story makes me wonder about.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I didn't really, like I said, I hadn't read it, so I really didn't know the whole details, but I figured it was something we could talk about for a second.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what the story is good for, because if you think about it, it's kind of bizarre and it makes me very curious. I'd like to know the real
details behind it.
Right? To understand.
Did it fall off? Why are we still shipping marijuana from other places when we can grow it everywhere, basically?
I'd like to talk to the captain of the boat and say, what were you thinking?
How the fuck did you lose all that weed, you dumbass?
Well, there would probably be. Well, no, if they were being chased, then there'd be a record of it someplace, the Coast Guard or
Oh,
something.
they were like pushing it off. Get it off the boat. Get it off the boat.
Maybe it's interdimensional and come through the Bermuda Triangle
Right. Or Atlantis.
or Atlantis.
Right. It floated
Oh,
up from Atlantis.
If anybody ever has the opportunity to go to Atlantis in the Bahamas, oh boy, it's a beautiful place.
Really?
Oh yeah, very expensive.
Keep that in mind.
Very, very nice.
Mrs. Hippie likes all that stuff. Nice, expensive. She's
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff.
We went for a weekend. It cost us about 15 grand.
She's not into that much. Fuck
No,
that.
it was,
That bitch can go by herself.
it was expensive. I mean, just a bottle of water was like $7.50. A hamburger and fries, $50. You know what I mean? It was expensive, but it was real nice.
Maybe yes. Maybe it came from the submarine. No, I think the submarine was on the other side of the world, wasn't it?
You know what was happening? Somebody was trying to smuggle it over to the UK. And that's where it fell off. They're trying
Tree
to
hugs.
Robert, was
Tree
that
hugs.
you? Was that you? Were you involved in that mission?
Tree hugs. That's our buddy Steve. Yeah. Steve, he's probably sleeping. He came into the room yesterday some point. I don't even remember what time because their days are all fucked up over there.
Well,
They're
I
like
wanted to talk to him about.
he came in and he was just if I could make a smile on my face from ear to ear, I would, because he came in the room and he was just like laying here smiling.
Yeah, but that's good, right? Because he had
Chilling
been in
out.
quite some pain the other day.
He was having
Oh.
a great time. He was in major pain. Yeah. Oh, he was in. I
that's
felt so
exactly.
horrible for him. And now, I mean, there's still work to be done, but at least he's in less pain.
Yeah.
Now we can start to figure out what is helping him, what parts of that is helping him.
Well, I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't feeling the pain and he was feeling pretty good, then I'd like to know what he did so that we have a baseline to start with for something that works.
Right. That's what I just said.
Right? Because there's a lot of things that might not work. But if he's
Right, well,
found
we
something
can
that worked in
but-
this one instance, it's a good place to start.
But unfortunately, he got it from a guy off the street, I think. So there's no like records of what type of flower it was. Or
Well, there maybe we'll start with a strain name and look into that first, and then try something from the legal source that runs in the same family,
right,
or even the same strain, and see
I'm
whether
all
it's
about helping them, definitely. But
Yeah, see if it's a
gonna be
repeatable
a tough mission. But what was great news is that he tried it and it worked, and now
Good.
he was comfortable. He seemed happier. He said the best fucking night's sleep he's had in years was the other
Beautiful.
night.
That's
He
good.
slept like a baby. He said it was great. I was so happy for him. But like I said, we have
Sure.
a language barrier. Not really a language barrier, but when the music's playing and him and I just can't hear everybody when the music's playing. So
You can't hear me when the music's playing, so
Yeah, I
it's not a
can't hear
language
shit.
barrier; it's a volume barrier.
But he's from Australia, and I don't speak Australian, so
Yeah, and it can be if your ear
I do. I mean, that's
isn't
not a
tuned
knife.
for it.
That's a knife. That's
Yeah.
about.
Well,
That's
you can
all my
pick up a little
Australian.
bit from Crocodile Dundee, but
Yeah, that's
It
it.
is,
That's all I got.
it's like a heavy Scottish accent, right? That one can be a bit of a challenge to pick up on too.
I don't know. All right, we got to do a commercial because we're behind schedule again. We'll be right back. You're hanging with the hippie and Dr. High. He's going to do a dab. I see him. He's going to get his
No, I'm
dab.
going to put it away.
Oh,
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A
get
teenager.
Dr. High fucked up
Learning
this
the
morning.
lingo.
Today I'm going to help
Teach us
parents
again,
translate
Dr. High.
teen
Show us
slang.
again, Dr.
Now,
High.
when a teen
Dr.
says
High,
something
do
is
another
on
dab, Dr.
fleek,
High.
It's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means
No
that
work
something
getting
is
done
awesome.
today, Dr. High.
Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in,
See, I
totes
love that
going
picture,
to
though. I would want that
Another word you might
picture in
hear
the background
is
right
jelly.
here.
Jelly is a shorter.
Yeah,
better way to
out of the 40 I did,
I am like
I
so
could see
jelly.
me hanging probably
You don't have
30
to
of
speak
them. You know what I mean? Like there's 30 of them that I would really
Foster care
have.
holding
There
kids
are a
for
couple
money.
that aren't really for me, but they could be appealing to somebody else.
Visit adoptuskids.org.
Oh, I love that one.
A
It's
public
like
service
I tell you, it
announcement
looks
brought
like
to you by the
Starry
US
Night
Department
with
of
a
Health and Human
weed field in
Services,
front of it.
Adopt US Kids, and
Yeah,
the
I love
Ad
it.
it's great colors, vivid.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed.
A whole new meaning to see
This
me.
woman
That's it,
could
Laura.
hold together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She
So, Doc,
masqueraded as a regular
if I
person
go
at work,
this week
but as a
and I get an
superhero at home.
RSO, a
Everyone knows
live
her as
resin,
Gabriella.
and a
I
distillate,
still call her
or
mom.
several anyway, and then I put them into
Your
carts,
hero
I
needs you
can
now,
vape them
and
all, and
AARP
I will be
is here to
fine.
help.
Well,
Find the care guide
I don't
you
know
need
about
to
the
help.
RSO. Why would you get an RSO to vape?
I don't know if I
AARP.org/caregiving.
wanna.
No,
Public service
Oh, I
announcement
mean,
brought to you
that's
by
why I
AARP
asked.
and the Ad Council.
I wouldn't get an RSO with the intention of vaping it. Never.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Hidby.
Well, they don't.
Check
They
out
don't.
Lauren
They don't
on
do good.
TikTok at you.
Well, I don't know. You know what?
She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok,
That's
she
a big
sells.
problem,
You have
Fableland.
to go pretty
When the
free.
green
I know.
doesn't fit the
So
jar,
you can watch her make it, and she'll make
need
it
another
personalized.
jar.
So if you have an idea, like I would
You need
like
a
this
bigger
thing made.
jar.
She can
Or a
make it.
bigger
She can
jar.
make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and
Guys,
You Have Me
what's your
Hooked
live
3 on
resin?
Etsy. Hey Hippie, look at this beautiful crystal sphere I got from
With this
Bella's
flower?
Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, Hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
Bella's Badass Crystals is on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
You can also check out their sales. They have mini Mondays and twice a day Tuesdays.
Find Bella's Badass Crystals on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
They are badass.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Chuck over at Collins Painting LTD. You can find them over on Facebook. They're in Ellensville, New York. Wow, what a great team over there. Really amazing, and always supporting us here over at WTHC.
I love this color.
Whenever I get an opportunity to play some of our independent artists, I throw them in there, and this is when I can because Facebook won't let me play anybody else.
Oh, but it's a great song. I really like it.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping he's going to be playing at a festival near me soon. I'm going to go watch him.
Well, man's got to eat. Well, I could be deaf, dumb, and blind and still drive 20 east. I've done it before in the middle of a goddamn raging storm. You know this to be true. I got a first floor room, yeah, a real first class scene.
I agree with that, Lori.
TV don't work, but they swear they'll fix the heat. Been drinking wine, just trying to kill some time until the sun comes up and I find myself back on the grind. Yeah, well, time is money, and money is blood and sweat. All time and sweat. I've got plenty. What I'm saying, I ain't bled out yet.
Makes me want to go get my guitar over there. It's too far away.
Never learned to play an instrument. But I
Me
love
neither.
music.
I like to pretend.
Got to live my life this way. Forget the week to week, it's a struggle day to day. I ain't got much, I just got a trowel and flow. Hail a stone mason down the road I go. Yeah, well, time is money, and money is blood and sweat. All time and sweat. I've got plenty. What I'm saying, I ain't bled at you. Oh, well, time is money, and money is blood and sweat. Oh, well, time and sweat. I've got plenty. What I'm saying, I ain't bled at you. I ain't bled at you. I ain't bled at you.
WTHC, good morning, everybody. It is 10:56 over here on the East Coast. I want to thank everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn. If you're wondering who that was, that is my good friend Scotty Crosby, right out of the beautiful Pocono Mountains here by me. He's amazing. I love his voice. That's him, one-man band right there, looking for some love and appreciation. Go check him out on all the different platforms. Give him some love. He's amazing. Welcome back, hanging out with Dr. High here. I got more stories, Dr. High, if you're ready, or if you want
to. Let's go.
All right, how long? I mean, this one we've spoke about before, but how long does THC stay in your system? What to know about marijuana and the body?
Stays a long time.
All right, well, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. Stop being a jerk. Thank you. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying. I got to come back to you guys. I might be able to play as a little video. So if I can get the video to play, I'd rather play the video than me have to talk. All right. There's the video. Now, if I turn the volume up and I hit play.
The amount of time that marijuana stays in your system varies depending on a number of factors, including how frequently you use it, how much you use, and your personal body composition. For occasional users, marijuana can stay in your system for up to 3 days, whereas for frequent users, it can stay up to 30 days or even more. This is because marijuana is stored in your fat cells and can be released slowly over time. Your metabolism, your body fat percentage, and how much you've eaten can all impact how long marijuana stays in your system. For example, if you have a high metabolism and a low body fat percentage, marijuana may leave your system more quickly than if you have a low metabolism and a high body fat percentage. Even if you aren't feeling the effects of marijuana, it can still be present in your system. If you are concerned about how long marijuana will stay in your system, talk to a healthcare provider or drug testing expert. They can provide you with more information about how drug tests work and what you can do to minimize your risk of testing positive.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I could read more if you wanted me to.
I mean, I'm not sure that that's correct. From my experience with individuals, in Alberta, a lot of guys where I worked, a lot of people work in the oil patch, right? Which is mostly camps, and there's a lot of drug testing, especially when something goes wrong. Like, let's say somebody has an accident on the rig, everybody's tested. You know what I mean? They don't just test the person who had the accident, they test everybody.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of guys that, you know, you're on the rig for, you're in the camp for, let's say, 2 months, and then you're a month off, right? You're back in town for a month, and a lot of people like to party on their months off, and then they would come and see us for detox products before they went back. You know, like we had strip pills, and we had all kinds of different stuff that guys could use to pass their tests, right? All the way down to synthetic urine, which in most circumstances was the safest way to go. You know, the urine belt, the kit, because you just never could tell. There are some really slim, skinny guys in great shape who had low percentages of body fat who were telling me that they were testing positive in periods of time longer than somebody who you would expect would He definitely, somebody with more, maybe my size or something like that, right? Lower metabolism, more fat. So I'm not sure that it's like that. And she suggests she talk to a doctor or a drug testing expert. But even they
that's
would.
not where I'm going.
Yeah, well, the problem is it's really individual.
And their opinion too. I mean, that's how they feel. Like you walk into a drug testing facility, and they're going to be like, "No, man, we'll test you, but you're a bad person. You're on weed." Because they're in a bad mood that day, or they're in a, they don't think about weed the way we think about weed.
Well, that's going to change, though.
Especially a job like that, where they've been pounded in their head. How much of that they've been pounded in their heads that weed's bad, and now it's going to be, they're going to be looking at it and they're going to be like, "What? Weed? There's weed there. They're bad, right?"
Which is foolish.
Well, I'm foolish.
Yeah, but that, like it's cannabis. But like we talked about yesterday, a lot of companies are starting to put away their marijuana testing because they're missing out on the opportunity to hire some of the best qualified people for the job because they test positive for cannabis, and that goes against company policy. So they're changing company policy. They're just going to stop testing.
Right. Is it that's a test that they have to pay for too? So I would assume that's an expense that they no longer have to worry about, right? Hey, don't worry about it. We don't have to test them for marijuana anymore. So we're going to save a couple $100,000 a year on testing all these people that keep getting hired and fired for weed or whatever.
Yeah, it's I would imagine it's at least $250 to process that sample. I would think. Yeah, per person, I would think so.
And depending on, where you are, like when I worked for the Department of Defense, there was people getting tested every single day, hundreds of people every single day, new people coming in, other people being tested because they had to be tested, randomly tested, this, that, the other thing, so, and I'm not just talking for weed, but, for everything at the Department of Defense.
Well, when you're testing at that level, then you just have your own lab. Right, it cuts down the cost.
Yeah. They had their lab. I went to a place. They were a pharmaceutical company. I worked there for a month or two before I realized that the boss was Gordon Ramsay, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself." But I worked at this place, and they had their own lab. Obviously, it was a manufacturer of pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
So they had their own lab right there on site, and I sat down in the thing, and they took my blood. And then my urine. And then they put it into a machine, and I sat there, and the computer screen flashed. Bleep, 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 pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, fail. And you sat there, and then all of a sudden it said, pass. And I was like, oh, phew, that was horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, but that's what it did. It told me I passed while I sat there. They tested it right there in front of me. And it said pass. Thank God I got the job, but then I only stayed there 2 months anyway.
Well, they got instant ones, right? In jail, they used to.
I would have said that was an instant one. It was like a matter of seconds, and I had an answer.
Yeah, they had instant ones in jail too, which is basically just a strip inside the cup, and you piss in the cup, and then there's that strip inside. It tells them what the temperature is, so that they can make sure that it's body temperature. And then it'll show a color if you're dirty.
I mean, and in your urine, if you're going there and you're dumb enough to go there with urine that's chocolate brown or golden yellow or smells like fucking weed, then you're a dumbass. I mean, you should be doing what you need to do. That pee should be pure white when you go in there. You should be peeing clear. I mean, as clear as possible. So if you're not peeing clear, then you need to drink more water and flush that shit.
I can tell you some nasty stories about some of the guys in jail, how they pass piss tests.
I don't know if you want to know. Do we have enough time?
Oh, no. I couldn't imagine.
It's a different show. It will say it at a different time.
Hardcore guys, I'm telling you. Some new guys are pretty hardcore.
Hippie and high prison stories will be coming on in the future. That'll be our show in the future, nighttime show. It. Hippie in the prison.
See, like Lori's saying that she got tested weekly, and it took almost 6 months before she tested low and never tested clean by the time they quit testing. And that's 6 months.
Fucking pothead.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Can you be on SSD and get a medical marijuana card?
Absolutely.
Social Security disability, is that what SSD is?
Yeah. SSI and is insurance, SSD is a disability. If you're disabled, Social Security disabled, then it's up to your doctor to say whether you can have a medical card or not. And I would think that Social Security disability can't say anything about it because you're disabled. They're calling you disabled.
Yeah. I think as long as you have a doctor that is going to write you the prescription, I don't see how anybody can interfere with it, because doctors, they kind of take precedent. And I really didn't understand how well respected they were within the system until I saw doctors handing out 80 and 100 gram a day prescriptions for medical cannabis. I mean, 100 grams a day, 80 grams a day. I myself, my biggest prescription was 50 grams a day.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I buy an eighth, all right, no, you're saying grams, so that would be 50
Grams.
actual
50 grams, 2 ounces a day.
2 ounces a day?
2 ounces a day was my biggest prescription. My smallest was 33 grams a day, which is an ounce and 5 grams. But my largest was 50. But I know people who had 80 and 100 gram a day.
How do you do that? I mean, all right, so they get this prescription, and I would assume your doctor up there would say, this is your prescription, and now this is how you're going to have to take it, right?
Doctor doesn't tell you how to take it.
They don't. They just say you're allowed to have this much a day.
Yeah.
So then you go home and you're like, all right, I'm a new patient. I just picked up 100 grams for today because I'm allowed to have that much. And I get home and I open it up and it's a big old sack of weed. And now I'm a new patient. And I'm like, what? I got to smoke all this today?
Well, this is the point I'm getting at, how powerful doctors are. Health Canada, who issues the license based upon the doctor's recommendation, especially for personal cultivation. If you have 100 grams a day of prescription, you're allowed to grow 500 plants.
I know you used to tell me about that, and I'm like,
yeah, you can grow 500 plants.
That's
so
crazy.
How can Health Canada?
But wait, how do they? Hold on a second. So you are one person, and I'm a different person. Now you are able to grow up to 500. We're both able to grow up to 500 plants. My 500 plants grow, and I get, a pound a plant. What is it? The average? A pound a plant? Isn't that the average?
Probably. Indoors, if you get
whatever
2 to 3 ounces of plant, you're good.
3 ounces of plant?
Indoors.
All right, so let's go with that. Indoors, 3 ounces of plant. I am barely getting that 3 ounces of plant. But you, as a professional who has a lot more knowledge, okay, not as a professional, but has a lot more knowledge about growing, you have the ability to grow those same 500 plants, and you're able to get pounds off of them. Is that an issue? Is that,
Nope.
I mean, with Health Canada, I mean, they're like, no,
They don't care about the weight. They only care about the number of plants. They estimate that a cannabis plant produces 30 to 45 grams of cannabis. One
Is
plant.
that because they don't know, or because they grow it inappropriately, and they or
I
do they?
don't really understand why.
I don't want to talk about it too much because if we fuck it up, people will be pissed.
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder where they got their
some stoners that they hired.
Right?
And we'll fix
I wonder.
Don't worry about it, man. We're gonna
30,
fix
45 grams small. But we used to get those big prescriptions by just telling the doctor that we wanted to juice the cannabis. So
Can
we
I
take
ask you a
the bud and juice it. Yeah.
So if all right, so if it's grams and then it goes down to what? What's below grams? Like if we broke it down, would it be milligrams?
Yeah.
Like maybe they fucked up and they meant to say 500 milligrams. Would that make more sense in a day?
No.
Is that too little?
No, they prescribe by the gram. That's
No,
how
no, I know.
your plant
I'm
count
just trying to
is.
figure out why they're so well. They are Canadian.
Yeah,
it is.
and it's very hard to say, right? What 500 milligrams is, because 1 gram of pure THC, like let's say your THC distillate, right, at 93%.
Right. Now that we're not even talking that, I'm just thinking flour.
Yeah, but what I'm just going to show you how it works. So if your distillate is 93% THC, 1 gram of distillate is 1,000 milligrams. And if you're 93%, that means out of that 1,000 milligrams, 930 milligrams are actually THC. And you have 7 milligrams, that's something else, right? Maybe some CBD, maybe some CBN, maybe some terpenes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. So it's very hard to say if you take 1 gram of cannabis that is 25% THC, that means in that 1 gram, there are 250 milligrams of actual THC. But your body won't get that 250 milligrams, especially if you smoke it. If you smoke it, your body might uptake 250 by 4, so that's 50, maybe 55 to 60 milligrams in a joint. That's about the dose that you're going to actually absorb. So, if you think about an edible at 40 milligrams or 50 milligrams, it's basically the same potency as a joint. The only difference is that it affects you differently because you've taken it orally as opposed to smoking, right? So the delivery onset is longer and the experience is more physical than psychological or more physical than mental with the edible. There is the mental part to it, but there's more physicality to it also. So
I was just going to ask you something. Shit. Damn it, it's gone. I have more stories, but we do have to do a commercial and a 420 song coming up. So what do you want to do? Do we have any more questions out there? 6 months? No. Saturday nights? No.
Anybody? I thought I saw something. No, maybe not. I must have been mistaken.
So that explains why I lose my high so quickly. Does that have something to do with what we were talking about?
What?
Fable wrote, so that explains why I lose my high so quickly.
What explains it? What were we talking about at that moment?
It might already be too gone. Anyway, let me get these commercials set up and we'll be back. I got to do a commercial break, so we'll do that and we'll be right back with a 420 song.
Sounds good.
Coming right up.
Yeah, 420 for Robert.
For Raggy. Yeah, see, I want to kind of wait a couple more minutes because if I run these commercials, then the song is going to be too early, So let me see if one of these stories is short enough to talk
Let's
about.
go.
All right, here. That's a big one. All right, no, we're going to save that one till after. All right, cannabis poisonings rise with marijuana legalization, study says. In recent years, the legalization of both medical and recreational marijuana have become the new normal across much of North America. The problem, new research finds that as legalization has spread, so have cases of cannabis poisoning. We have a systematic review of published studies reporting on what the rates of poisoning after legalization or decriminalization, said study author Nicholas Buckley, a professor of clinical pharmacology, biomedical information, and digital health at the University of Sydney in Australia.
Right.
Jerk. I don't like that guy. With either rate generally went up, Buckley noted the extent to which it did quite variable, but on an average went up 3 to 4 times. The rise in children were even more dramatic. The researchers noticed that cannabis poisoning stems from ingesting too much marijuana in one go. When it occurs, it can manifest in a wide variety of ways, including sleepiness, dizziness, high blood pressure, palpitations, feelings of lethargy, a fast heart rate, nausea, vomiting, agitation, and irritability. Children are particularly vulnerable, with cases having the potential to send some patients into a coma. Oh my goodness. In all of the team reviewed 30 published studies, most 23 were conducted in the United States, another 6 had been run in Canada, 1 focused on a jurisdiction just outside of North America, Thailand. Nearly 2/3, 19 of the studies focused on the risk of marijuana poisoning amongst children. And all 24 studies indicated that when legalization took hold, poisoning risk went up. Still, when legalization involved recreational use, the degree to which poisoning risk rose varied greatly depending on one particular study at hand. By contrast, where legalization involved medical marijuana use, rises in poisoning were risk both consensually higher compared with recreational use. The relatively similar across jurisdiction. Because nearly all of the studies were conducted in North America, the team cautioned that it is hard to say if the apparent association between legalization and poisoning risk would also play out in other countries or other cultures. But North America, there's a fucking whole. Oh no, this is that same story from yesterday.
Yeah, that's okay though. Now,
yeah,
what that article saying has truth, but there's truth in that, because the poisonings have gone. Now, poisoning's a strong word, right, for what's going on, but the number of people experiencing negative consequences from edibles, especially children, has gone up. And I think there's one simple reason for that, and that's packaging edibles so they look like candy.
All right.
So that they look. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready
back.
in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute.
We'll talk about that when we get back.
Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Packaging
Hey,
is horrible.
Why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad
Holistic Health
Council.
Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook, Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. OwnYourWater.org.
Hey, it's Bill Schmidt Jr., aka Billy Blaze, aka 420 Kid of the Holistic Cloud. RIP to my man Derek Crow. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy. My dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega, Big Just, Rossi, Jack the Apostle, the League.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Big buzz till little crumbs broke up in the bottom. Feel like autumn leaves falling. Only problem needs solving is seeing who I'm calling for some trees to indulge in. Need to holler at Billy, he keep his head in the cloud. Bel Air Kush by the bush, wow. Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams floating through space. So when they ask me how high, my reply, I'm half baked. Sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato, G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo, blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie. Got you afraid of heights, scared to look down, you so high. Cause when I spit that shit, it's like I lit that shit in the crowd. Pass it around and let you hit that shit.
Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed. Weed is all I breathe. Smoke that leaves. Roll up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with THC. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Good sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack, let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beef, Bel Air Kush, give me mental control. L-Lick, back roll, bypass toll. The studio we roll, bring relief. Weed and music, all I need to know. Healthier than pill pop. Mother, give me earth to fill spot. My medication, kid to a kill shot. Little strands, lit hands in stressful situations. Out of all the girls in my life, Mary Jane, a reservation. Here at 23, raise your hands in liberation. A celebration, history free from information. Stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politics throughout the nation. Making it stop debating Billy Blunt, stash, flavor, taste the weed.
Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed.
All naked, Nick.
Weed is all I breathe. Broke down leaves. Roll up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with the THC. Roll that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
WTHC, that was our band Calligraphy with THC. I absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys. I'm going to see them in September. They're going to be opening one of the opening acts for Muck Sticky at that concert over in Ohio. And I plan on being there. I'm going to be there hanging out. I'm going to get to meet Calligraphy and hang out with Muck Sticky. It's going to be a great day. I'm excited. Anyway, tickets are still on sale for Muck Sticky's concert, by the way. If you want them, go over to his website and check them out. Go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, I think Timmy's going to try to get down there from Michigan as well, or Chicago, or wherever the hell he's going.
Well, Michigan and Ohio are right next to each other, so unless he lives in the UP, it wouldn't be too bad of a drive.
I think he lives in Chicago, like on. I think he said it's a 7-hour ride.
Yeah, he's Western Michigan. Then.
Yeah, not horrible, but yeah.
No.
I'm going to be doing 6 most, so it's close.
We were talking about children and that getting access, right?
Right, yeah.
There's a couple problems. But the first problem is in the parenting. If the kids get at these, then there's something wrong with the parenting process, simply because would you leave a loaded gun on your coffee table or a knife unattended when you have young children in the house? Would you just leave it there? I mean, no, you wouldn't, because the logic is you don't do that. So why would you leave
your
candy-colored
diarrhea pills or your other type of pills laying around on the counter and on the table for your children to get to?
So that's the first issue.
It's medicine.
Yeah. The second one is the way they're packaging it. When they make it attractive and appealing, and it looks like candy that kids want when they're in the checkout line at the grocery store, and nobody's around paying attention, and it's sitting there, the temptation is too great for the child to try it. And they don't realize that just one candy is going to do something to them. They don't know anything about it. So they consume all the candy because they're in a frenzy. And the next thing you know, you have a problem. You know what I mean? The kids are sick, and the parents don't understand what's going on because they may or may not realize that the kid's eating all the weed candies. And in Canada, where they're reporting the increase in children getting access to edibles that are bringing them to emergency rooms, in almost every instance when they're showing the edibles that were involved, because they usually give a warning, right? They're not legal market edibles. They're not the edibles coming from the legal dispensaries where the packaging is plain and boring, and they have child-proof packaging that kids can access anyway, right? So it's just
nerd ropes that look like candy.
Yeah.
They just look like candy, you know, and they're nerd ropes or gummy bears. I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So, I mean, that article uses kind of harsh language, right? And kind of scary language. But what they're saying is factual to some extent. It has increased. And the other problem you have in the States is the way the laws are written. In Colorado, if a candy bar is labeled 100 milligrams of THC, it can actually contain 500 if they want. It can contain 200. It can contain any amount of THC as long as it exceeds the labeled amount, right, of 100 milligrams. If it's 95 milligrams, then it's against the laws, right, because you're claiming your package has something it doesn't. But if you're giving more, then you're within the law. But that doesn't help the consumer in any way because they don't even understand the dose that they're taking. It's not accurate. So, yeah.
I want to say something. I want to say that, shit. Packaging. Go ahead. What were we saying?
Well, we're talking about, being responsible with the packaging and your parenting skills.
I remember. So like if your package doesn't come with like the ingredients and it just says gummy or it just, or it just says THC, California THC, I just can't trust it. If it doesn't have like my name or a prescription, like, like when you get your thing, you put those little stickers on everything. I don't know if they do that in Canada, but when you go to the dispensary, they have your label with your name on it. Then they put the label with the other stuff on it. And, and with all the terpenes and everything is on there. And you're like, okay, now I feel like I'm getting something safe. When I go and my kid comes home and he's got 6 bags of gummies in his pack and he just, look what I got, Dad. And I'm like, dumbass, these are not good. I'm not going to, he's 18 years old now. He can do what he wants. But I tried to explain to him for the last 10 years, you can't be just eating shit that you don't know where it's coming from.
Well, imagine this, right? If a manufacturer isn't conscientious enough, professional enough, or responsible enough to put the ingredients on the package, then that tells me that I shouldn't be touching their stuff, because who's to say that they're doing things in a clean and hygienic way? Who's to say that there's no contamination in the products they're making? Who's to say that the product that they made doesn't require a preservative
You can buy those packagings anywhere at thousands of them for $1 or something like that. You know, the ones with the Monopoly dude on it, and you can put some flour in there with whatever you want on, and you zip it fucking closed. You walk out and you sell it.
Use a vacuum sealer or a heat sealer, and all looks professional and pretty, and
it looks brand new and professional. And you're buying somebody's shit that they made in their house. Like, I just can't get it. Like, somebody could make gummies at their house, gummy bears, and put them into a package easily in their house with their poop on their fingers and whatever the fuck else they're doing. Boogers. Let me get that. Oh, I forgot. I got an itch on my crotch. I forgot to do this. And then put it in a package and send it out there. And if it doesn't say fucking pharmaceutical grade or whatever it has to say, tested by the medical, whatever, it's got to be right. I just can't buy gummies off of some dude that's selling gummies in a bag on the side of the road.
Well, that's why you have to know the person, right? Because I did all that stuff at home too. I moved a lot of different packaged products, but I was very conscientious about what I was doing because it's what I love. So there are other people out there just like me, plenty of them out there, that care about what they're doing and are responsible and professional about it and do it correctly. But there are also many who aren't. So if you don't know the individual from which you're purchasing something that you're going to consume, then you're taking some risks.
All right. I got a but what if kind of thing. Like, I don't know any of the dudes that are making these frozen pizzas either that I eat every fucking day at the grocery store. I don't know the dude that's cutting the beef and the steak. What the fuck? Why do I got to know?
There are big companies that have to comply to certain rules. So, you know what I mean? Just the fact that they come from trusted sources. McCain Foods or Kellogg's or Kraft, or you know what I mean? These are trusted sources. So, I mean, if you can find a trusted supplier, somebody who's correct, and like my online dispensary, that's a good supplier. Like, the product that comes from them is good product. I would consume it. I would feel safe consuming it because it's done professionally. It's done, everything is right. So. Right. Actually, we just got some good new products in too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Some good stuff. Some good pain sticks. Rub-on pain sticks. A very high number THC oil. There are 3 or 4 new products. I just saw the email. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, but they look good. Yep. Some gummies, some THCA gummies. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's the deal with edibles in that article. Here's a medical side that I was reading this morning. I'll go through with you.
And I'm just filling my vape juice.
No problem. So the headline of the article, it comes out of Helio News. Medical cannabis safely helps alleviate cancer-related pain and may reduce opioid use. So this is a study.
You get tired of hearing the same story, though. Like, no. I mean, I love the story. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, we've discussed this. It's obvious that it helps with opiate abuse and helps with people getting off of opiates. That's how I got off of. I don't know, how I got off the drug of choice that I was doing. I mean,
but this is a clinical trial.
This is time for them to start accepting the fact that it's and stop telling us about it and just start fucking doing it. I don't know.
But this is how it happens, right? Because this is an actual clinical trial conducted by McGill University in Canada on cancer patients and cannabis. So everybody was monitored through the program. And what the doctor says, the researcher, who's a MD and a Master of Science and Associate Professor of Oncology and Medicine at McGill University, he says, it has to be a complementary treatment. That means a way of filling gaps in care. The conventional treatment can't achieve. The study was 358 adults with cancer. Vijano and his colleagues found that strains of cannabis with balanced proportions of THC and CBD conferred better pain relief than strains dominant in either THC or CBD. So they're talking about a 1-to-1 ratio or close as you could get to a 1-to-1 ratio for this. As some of the results will show.
Wow.
It says they also found an association of medical cannabis use with a reduction in overall medication burden and a decrease in opioid use. It says one aspect of care that's very important for patients with cancer is optimal symptom control, which we are fairly good at achieving, except with some patients who present with very complex pain syndrome or symptoms that are difficult to treat through conventional approaches. For example, medical cannabis helps people with appetite stimulation. The medications that normally stimulate appetite do so as a side effect or at the expense of side effects, as is the case with corticosteroids, for instance. So medical cannabis, okay, so he says, from there, I also realized the possibility of using medical marijuana to help with insomnia and or pain control, because most of the patients I treat with medical cannabis didn't achieve adequate pain control with conventional medication, or the conventional medications cause too many side effects. So medical cannabis needs to be used as a part of a very personalized approach. The patient needs to be evaluated in terms of indications, contradictions, and precautions, as we would do with any other medications. However, with medical cannabis, we don't have a standardized dose. We know that beyond a certain amount of either THC or CBD, we probably don't achieve more benefit. So they're saying that high THC or high CBD doesn't make the cannabis work any better necessarily. They haven't found that to be the case.
Well, I don't know who it is down here, Facebook user, but my gummies are 5-to-1 CBD THC.
Very nice.
That
could be a good ratio, especially if you're dealing with inflammation. How you doing, Facebook user?
How are you, Facebook user?
Yeah. 5-to-1 CBD THC is an interesting ratio. They're probably really good for anything that's inflammation related with a pain kicker, let's say. The combination would work well. But they say that both CBD and THC work better together than either one works alone. But we've talked about that before.
It's Fungi Cultural Store. Yeah, it comes up Facebook user, so we don't know who it is. Nice to meet you, Fungi Culture Store. How are you? Welcome in. Yeah.
We just can't
join my group. You came in through the group, so it doesn't show who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't show who you are. That's why
it says Facebook user. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll try and be much more personalized with you, but if we're not sure who you are, we don't know how to address you properly.
Yeah, Facebook user number 2. I have another story. It sounded somewhat similar to yours, but it says you can, and then in percentage, you know the word, maybe get benefits of weed without weed. Cannabinoids, the chemical compound found in the cannabis family, famously contains compounds cannabis famously contains are not only found in cannabis, but in fact they are both endocannabinoid. This is bad for me because these words
endocannabinoids
made by the body and phytocannabinoids. Now what? Made by plants. Humans have the entire system of receptors dedicated to interacting with cannabinoids, whether made by the body or coming from outside sources, called the endocannabinoid system, or the
ECS,
or the ECS for short.
ECS.
While there is still much unraveling to be done, science has started to break down how the ECS works to modulate hunger, body temperature, sleep, and other vital functions. It's the basic reason why cannabis provides relief to some people for things like nausea or inflammation. It is a plant-generated cannabinoid, interacts with the body's CB1 and CB2 receptors, which are found all over and influence bodily responses. Not everybody who wants to signal their ECS for health reasons like potentially better sleep or increased appetite, wants to get high, which brings us to other options besides cannabis. By the way, in states with recreational cannabis programs, lots of cannabis derived CBD products are properly tested and labeled to avoid THC contamination that logs over desired or stated levels, not something you'd get from most commonly available CBD products. Even if you are willing to try weed, the cannabis landscape has never been more confusing. And as non-cannabis and or synthetically derived supplements grow in popularity, some pointers are in order. And then it continues.
D8, D10.
Well,
THC.
no, it says, what is a cannabis? The next one is, what is a cannabinoid? And then it goes on to, what other plants have cannabinoids? You want me to read that?
Well, I think there's broccoli. I think there's a couple that are showing a little bit. Broccoli might be on the list, but I'd be curious. Yeah, what plants are they saying?
All right. Well, I'll read this part of the article. No matter what some marketing might say, THC and CBD are only found in cannabis plants for now. Cannabinoids can be synthesized with other plants and chemical extracts, but they don't occur in those forms in nature. Or if they do, they haven't been found or discovered yet.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that you can't get ECS without other supplements. If you are avoiding cannabis, while you can get a similar high from these plants, nor can you get therapeutic amounts of food from supplements exist with what? Amounts of food. Supplements exist with concentrated plant extract that could have health benefits. Some plants containing what are called cannabinoid compounds, and they said to have similar effects to cannabis cannabinoids like CBD, but not THC. One big one is beta carotene,
beta carotene,
which is volatile. Come on, get out of the way.
Yeah,
aromatic chemical that is found in cannabis, but also many plants like clove, black pepper. Beta carotene signals the CB2 receptor and is being researched for pain modulations, for one thing.
Yeah.
It goes on to say catechins in tea
are
another potential cannabis-like chemical. And another big word, anandamide.
Anandamide.
Yeah, that's what I said. And endocannabinoids exist in small amounts of CACO, CACAO, whatever that is, and truffles.
It's chocolate. It's what chocolate is before it's chocolate. Cacao.
All right, and cacao and truffles. But what you won't get is a significant dose from eating those foods. Should I continue, or are we good?
No, it's okay.
No? I can stop.
Well, you can, but I mean, it's just telling us basically what we already know, right? That a healthy lifestyle is based around.
I don't understand what I read.
Plant eating, you know what I mean? Like healthy living, plants and vegetables and fruits, and this is where all the real benefits come in. Because you got to remember, right? Like, although we're able to sit here on the internet and we have artificial intelligence and we have all this kind of stuff, biologically, we're still 10,000 years in the past. Like, our bodies haven't evolved into this point, so our bodies are still require everything we required 10,000 years ago. And 10,000 years ago, you didn't have Kraft Dinner or peanut butter or ketchup or you know, fast food restaurants or any of this kind of stuff. So we weren't designed for that. What we were designed for was mostly a plant-based diet. And if we're lucky, some meat, if we were able to catch some, you know what I mean? And then, but we would have lived mostly on like legumes, beans, seeds, plants, fruit, you know, vegetable. That's what we would have lived on. And the thing is if we still maintain that diet with today's current healthcare system and what we understand about the body and how to combat illness, number one, we probably have to combat a lot less illness. If we all live the way we did, like ate the way we did back then, we'd be so much better off. But longevity would be enhanced also because they'd be able to combat those things. So, it's really, and I'm, I talk about this, but I don't take that advice. I don't live like that. But really, that's the way to live. Like a real
vegetarian.
You don't have to be a vegetarian, but you should be 80 or 90% vegetarian and 10% meat, right? 15% meat. Like you should have some meat in there, I think. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think that the heavy weight on the diet should be plant-based, right? That's a much better way to live, and your body's a lot happier, and is cut out as much sugar as possible because sugar is poison.
All right, I got to do a commercial, and then we'll come back and wrap it up.
I'm going to eat a chocolate bar.
I'm going to eat a chocolate bar. I'm having eggs.
Oh, I'm just joking because we're talking about sugar being poison. Morning, Veronica.
We'll be right back. Hanging with the hippie, Dr. High.
Hey, hippie, look at this beautiful crystal sphere I got from Bella's Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
Bella's Badass Crystals is on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
You can also check out their sales. They have mini Mondays and twice-a-day Tuesdays.
Find Bella's Badass Crystals on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
They are badass.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Hippie. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it, and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
WTHC, we're back, and it's the hippie hanging with Dr. High. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. We got a little bit left. What's your plan today, Dr. High?
I want to get finished what I got started this morning. I was up at 3 and working by 5. So I got an agenda. I got to do a lot of writing this weekend, right? Because I'm out of, I don't have any fresh blog posts prepared. So I need to be able to spend Saturday. It takes me 2 days to put together a couple blog posts and get them ready to go. So I really, really, really want to try and get Etsy finished today. So I'm probably going to keep today to around noon or the next commercial that you run.
Whatever you want. I got the fungi is now coming in the afternoon. So as soon as we're done, I sign off. The fun guy comes on and he's going to do 4 hours till about 4 o'clock today. Then he ended up getting tickets to Avenged Sevenfold tonight.
Oh, nice.
So him and his son are going to go see that. And then after that, he's going to come on and go on the air and talk about the concert and how much fun he had and jam out for a few hours tonight at around 11 or 12 o'clock midnight around the East Coast, I guess, somewhere around there. And jam out. So that's our and then I come back on at 4 o'clock and I do all the 420s across the country then. So I do 420 East Coast, Central, Mountain, and West Coast, and then I'm off by 8 o'clock.
Get them all in.
So that's it's kind of like filling up most of the day right now, and it's good. Only a couple hours. We can't keep a job, Bob, but he does a good job. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't talk much, but he just plays the music. He does a good job.
Right. I like the music. When I'm on the computer and I'm not on the show, I'm listening the whole time.
Oh, I know. I see the school, the parking lot right across the neighborhood from you. It shows me your whole neighborhood. It shows me the playground and the school building right there around the corner from you.
My pup's over there whining. Come here, Loki.
Loki, come on.
Ooh. Come see. Come see. What's that? Come on up. Come see. Keep going. Come on. Look.
Come on, Loki.
Let's see. Come on. Nah, he's going to be shy.
Shy today? I'm running out of air anyway.
He wouldn't come downstairs yesterday. I couldn't understand it. He stayed upstairs in the bed like all day. He came downstairs quick, went outside about 10:30 in the morning when we were doing a show, and I didn't see him again. So I went up there, and I'm like, what's going on? I was concerned maybe he wasn't feeling good or something, huh? So I'm like, come on downstairs. So he comes downstairs, and that smoke detector, the battery's going bad, right? So it's making that chirp. That's why he wasn't coming downstairs. It had him terrified. That thing went off. He came and hid behind me. He was freaked right out. Went right back upstairs.
We're supposed to be leaving the house, Dad. There's a fire.
Yeah. So I had to pull the battery out because I didn't want to freak him out anymore with that. So hold on, I'm just going to pop the door for him. Hold on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Oh, you see your neighbors. You see Chico and Chester. My brother's dogs are outside, so that's why he's crying.
They're going to run along the fence together.
Yeah. He only likes two of them, not all three. Him and one of them aren't friendly. But the other two he really likes. So
the other one must
have
sniffed
all right like that.
Well, he sniffed his ass one too many times. He's like, you, get out of here. I told
no,
you.
He's a male that's not fixed. All the other dogs are fixed, including mine. But that one's not. I want to know how Veronica does on Etsy. How long she's been on there and what her experience has been like. I'm trying to figure out. I get a lot of visits, but not a lot of sales. And
is there a better way for you to do it? Is there another way for you to do it, or no? It has to be like through that because of the AI and all that kind of stuff.
No, there are other platforms. There's places like Redbubble, and there are a few platforms, Shopify, which I'm thinking about doing at some point. But I may not need to. I might be able to build it all into Etsy. It'd be easier to keep it in one spot. But I do want to go on some other platforms too. But I'm trying to figure out Etsy because I don't know. They just don't convert a lot. Like a lot of people are looking at the images, but a lot of people are buying them, and they're cheap.
Is it explaining well in the shop? Like it makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to understand, right? I joined a couple of Facebook groups today.
Hey, don't take this the wrong way, Lori, but Lori figured it out. So, I mean, anybody could figure it out, for fuck's sake.
No. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. And I put instructions right in there on actually how digital downloads work, because a month ago, I wouldn't have bought a digital download because I wouldn't have understood how it worked. You know what I mean? What it was really all about. It wouldn't be on my radar, right? Because I'm an older guy who's not used to that sort of thing. So I put in the images a set of instructions and also wrote them in the description about how digital downloads actually work. And I have all unique like rooms with the paintings showing. So I'm just wondering if I'm doing something wrong or what I'm not doing right, or if I'm just too impatient. I don't know. Could be that too.
Yeah.
Could be that too. So I can't say. But I'd be curious to know a little bit more about how Veronica's experience, how long she's been on there and how she sees it going. But just a curiosity.
I know Mrs. Hippie had messed around with it for a while, trying to sell stuff. Overall, wasn't an overall huge fan of it. Didn't hate it, but didn't love it.
Right.
But, you know, and I messed around with it a little bit back in my previous careers of selling stuff, you know.
Okay.
Nothing overwhelmingly great. That's why I was like, I wonder if you could, like, I don't know. It's probably not cheap enough for you to do. But to print them out and have them already made and then selling them as sold copies, you know?
Well, I could do that with print on demand, right? I can take on a production partner, and that's something that's going to happen, right? You can buy it as a digital download because then it's cheap. But let's say I take one of those images and do it as a canvas. It might be $60 or $70.
Right, but that's worth it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If you were talking about that one behind you, $60, $70, I would easily pay that for that beautiful photo behind you to have it in a frame and ready to go, or even without a frame, just on a canvas.
Right.
And I had to find a frame for it, I would buy it.
Yeah,
Maybe not as quick with it without the frame. With the frame, I would definitely buy it, you know, for 60 or 70. And you could buy cheap frames. I mean, frames that you can get at the dollar store and then let them worry about the frame in the future, you know?
I can tell Lori something for a fact because she just said, you make mine a canvas and I would buy it. That will be the first piece, the piece that Lori picked up today, which was the golden green yin and yang. That will be the first piece that ends up on whatever physical merchandise I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So I know definitely I'm going to do t-shirt
or a hat.
Yeah, I'm going to do a t-shirt. I'm going to do sweatshirt. I'm going to do some coffee mugs, maybe some water bottles. You know what I mean? Like the aluminum water bottles. Hats? Yeah, maybe hat. Oh,
patches.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Because you were talking about t-shirt earlier, and you wanted to have a t-shirt for the weekend. I can take your WTHC logo, and when I start doing the print on demand stuff, probably next week, I can actually create that design to go onto a t-shirt, and then you'll be able to order that t-shirt right through the thing. And I'll just discount it, so it just costs you the t-shirt and the shipping. You know what I mean? But
I have a merch company, I guess you would call it.
Oh, so you can do it yourself. Yeah, so just do it. Better than waiting on somebody else.
Yeah, no, I just haven't had the opportunity to sit down and design it and do it yet. But
this needs to be upscaled, right? Like to look good.
I was talking to Mrs. Hippie about that, and she said, yeah, she's going to take care of it.
Yeah, because I never upscaled that skull, simply because I'll never use that skull now because it's for yours. So, it's not been upscaled. But if you need it manipulated or whatever, just let me know.
Yeah, well, we're gonna figure that out because like Vern does a lot of my other stuff, like shirts that say WTHC, but I don't know if this is like she does decals, and it's very hard for something this intricate to be, decal.
Well, the nice thing about using a company like Printful, they do DTG printing, which is direct to garment, and the image that you print on there is guaranteed for like 50 washes. With no cracking or peeling or anything like that, because they print it directly on the material. And they want PNG file. They want high resolution PNG files for their print files. so that the imagery does come out really, really close to the original. So you can do stuff like that.
Is that I get off now and Timmy comes on and I have the opportunity to do stuff. That's why we're doing
you can
this.
do that for yourself. You can just open up your own Printful account and do it yourself. I mean, it's really simple.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then you order it as a sample, and you'll get it at cost. And
right. So yeah, that's what I mean, you know, I want to figure it all out. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to, you know, I want to help small business at the same time. So if Vern is making cool shit that I can put out there and sell, absolutely.
Yeah.
Timmy is the fun guy. He comes on now. He starts in about 10 minutes. As soon as I get off, he said he's getting himself pretty right now, and he'll be on.
He says you get off and I'll get on, buddy.
Yeah, I'm getting off, he's getting on, and then he's gonna get off, and then I'll get on, and then I'm gonna get off, and then he'll get on, and it's
sounds like a party. Sounds like a party. What's up, Doug?
Whole day of getting off and getting on. All right, well, it's 12.
He's getting her.
And I gotta pee, so I'm gonna wrap it.
Well, there we go. All right, everybody. It's been great this week. I've enjoyed your company. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you all on Monday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I'll have some stories.
Enjoy your weekend.
I'm gonna have some stories for you because I'm going. I have to go.
You're going to that festival. Make sure you take some video, take some pictures.
Oh, I'm going to go live from TikTok. I'm going to go live from Facebook probably. Yeah, Curly Kell will be my camera girl. And
there you go.
I might bring the puppet. I don't know. I probably should, but
that'll be fun.
Anxiety's going through the roof already.
You're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a great time. We got a whole bunch of people. We're bringing a table and I don't know about a table, but chairs. We're going to set up a little camp area and hang out and just get fucking baked all day and then walk around and get baked all day. And
that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I like those kind of places. They're a good
it's going to be fun. All hippies everywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. 420 people. So we'll have great stories from that. I don't know if I'm going to buy anything, Dr. High, because I'm afraid of those people. You know what I mean? They say they say it was CBD or TH or hemp or whatever, but then
but you don't want that stuff anyway because it's not going to do anything for you.
They were winking at me and they were like, "It's not hemp."
Yeah, and then you didn't have a very good experience with the product, so
it wasn't great. No, overall, yeah. But it's hard. It's hard when they're like offering ounces at $75. You're like, oh,
yeah, but you wouldn't pay $75 for a piece of dog poo, would you?
I would, because I'm an idiot. But
you know what I mean. So,
will mushrooms grow out of that dog poo?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, we'll be over to Clapper. We gotta go check out DJ Nephew Nick over on Clapper. Yeah.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace. We'll see you all on Monday. You too, hippie. Have a good time. Be safe. Kelly, keep him under control when you see him this weekend. And have a great time. Right. See y'all.
Peace. All right, I'm out, guys. Peace.